Good morning, classmates. Good morning, Prof. Today I will be discussing the first 4 bullet points under Module 6, Local Legislative Body, which are the following: crafting ordinances and resolutions, enactment of legislation, elements of effective local legislation, and citizen participation. So crafting ordinances and resolutions, the reference I used is from RA 7160, or the Local Government Code of 1991. So ordinance is a local law that prescribes conduct of general or permanent character. It continues to be enforced until repealed or superseded by a subsequent enactment of the local legislative body. Meanwhile, a resolution is a mere expression of the opinion or sentiment of the local legislative body on matters relating to propriety, function, and to private concerns in its temporary in character. So elements of an ordinance. The following are the elements of an ordinance. Title. So title of ordinances have long and short. So sa long title, naka-indicate dyan kung ano yung repeal na ordinance, or in our case sa Senate, a law, an RA amending blah blah blah, ganyan. So yung short title naman, direct to the point na kung tungkol saan yung ordinance or a law. Enacting clause or ordaining clause, quote unquote, be it enacted / ordained by the Sangguniang Bayan in session assembled that, close quote. So ito this is where naka-indicate yung kung saan and kung sino yung nag-enact ng isang batas or ng ordinance. Next is body or central provisions. Similar to a House or Senate bill, the body or central provisions are the content of the bill. So yung the usual format ng bill, which is Section 1, Declaration of Policy, 2, definition of terms, and so on. So next element of an ordinance is the penalty clause. So self-explanatory to. Ito yung magiging penalty kung hindi ka sumunod or hindi na sunod ang isang ordinance or a law. Repealing clause, this is a part of a law, or in this case, ordinance, in which cancels or revokes previous law. It is a statutory provision that repeals an earlier statute. So ito yung part ng law or ng ordinance na nakalagay kung saan o kung may kinakancel siyang previous law or ordinance bago mag-take effect yung the said ordinance or the proposed ordinance or law. So next is the effectivity clause. So as a general rule, laws shall have only a prospective effect and must not be applied retroactively in such a way as to apply to pending disputes cases. So usually during committee hearings, deliberations, ganyan, hindi to masyado pinagtutunan ng pansin. No? Pero during the creation of an IRR, yung implementing rules and regulations, and usually pag nag-take effect na yung law, isa to sa mga importanteng parts kasi minsan pag may cases relative to the measure or law or a policy, ito yung ginagamit, no, kung pasok ba siya dun sa effectivity clause ng batas bago nangyari yung violation, or yung dun din papasok yung penalty, no? So kung pasok siya within the enactment of the law, pasok ka ba dun sa penalty or sa effectivity ng the said ordinance or no law. So yeah. So what are the general kinds of ordinances? So meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. General ordinance refers to an ordinance enacted by a sanggunian and the exercise of its police power, whose primary aim is the general welfare of the people by prescribing certain regulatory measures. So, ang sakop nito yung constituents ng isang local government unit, constituents ng isang local chief executive, tsaka ng sanggunian. Ito yung mga nakapaligid dun sa isang location, sa isang LGU. Ito yung mga tao sa mga barangay, ito yung mga target ng general ordinance, no, yung mga nakatira sa isang local government unit, sa isang area, no, sa isang location that is being governed by a certain LGU. So next is appropriation ordinance. Just like in the Senate and the House, no, meron din tayong appropriation. This refers to an ordinance whose primary aim is to appropriate local funds for purposes allowed by existing laws. So dito ina-appropriate yung funds ng isang LGU. Dito ina-appropriate yung funds for a certain projects ng isang LGU ng local chief executive. So pag nag-fund na o pag na-appropriate na sa isang project, so dun lang siya may implement. So similar with the national government, pag dineliberate na yung General Appropriations Act. So that's similar. Ang difference lang niya is the GA is a more larger scale. So tax ordinance refers to an ordinance enacted by the Sanggunian in the exercise of the local government unit's taxing power, whose primary purpose is to raise local revenues through the imposition of levying taxes, fees, and charges subject to certain limitations prescribed by existing laws or law, rather. So ito yung, for example, sa isang LGU, sa isang location, no, may isang industry na nagbo-boom. So pag nakikita ng isang LGU na okay itong negosyo na to, minsan dinadagdagan niya yung pagpataw ng tax, no, para makinabang din naman yung mga people surrounding that industry, no. So pwede siyang dagdagan ng tax para maramdaman siya nung LGU, no, para makapag-improve din ng surroundings ng industry. In effect, will also help the industry, the certain industry that is already booming. At the same time, pwede rin naman, it doesn't mean na tax ordinances dadagdagan lang yung taxes. Minsan, meron ding tax exemptions na tinatawag. So for example, merong isang industry na pag sinabi ng LGU na, okay, if you hire local residents sa business mo, we can exempt you for X amount of taxes, ganyan, as long as you employ local residents sa area namin, sa industry mo or sa business mo. So it can go both ways, no? It can increase taxes, it can exempt you from taxes, ganyan, or different fees and charges dito tinataka sa tax ordinance. So the last kind of ordinance is the special ordinance, which refers to an ordinance aimed to address a special purpose. So ito yung mas identified, mas specific na ordinance targeting a certain issue sa isang LGU. So yeah. Cardinal rules in enacting ordinances, so it must be in harmony with the Constitution, of course, law, statutes, as well as general principles of law and equity. In a sense, it must be consistent with public policy and must not contravene human rights. Of course, it must be enacted in good faith, in the public interest, and designed to enable the LGU to perform its functions. It must extend only to subjects or matters which are within the powers of the Sanggunian to enact. It must also be reasonable in its terms, must not be partial or discriminatory, must not restrain but may regulate trade, and must be adopted by an authorized Sanggunian, legally convened. So hindi yung basta-basta lang na ginawa sa isang meeting, no, kailangan naka-convene and may quorum yung Sanggunian. So procedural steps in enacting ordinances and resolutions. So this is similar with the procedures na ginagamit natin sa both Chamber of Congress, no, sa Senate and the House, no. So ang difference na ito is unahin muna yung introduction and sponsorship before committee deliberation and action. So under committee deliberation and action, nandito yung public hearings, committee report with recommendation, and then the Sanggunian will deliberate it. Ordinance is read in its entirety on second reading. Then the measure is subject to debate and amendments. Third reading and final voting. So pagbubotohan na siya and approval and review, the measure is presented to the local chief executive for action. then publication and effectivity. So in the enactment of ordinances and adoption of resolutions, Article 107 IRR of RA 7160, a resolution shall be enacted in the same manner prescribed for an ordinance, except that it need not go through a third reading for its final consideration. No ordinance or resolution shall be considered on second reading in any regular meeting unless it has been reported out by the proper committee to which it was referred or certified as urgent by the local chief executive. Any legislative matter duly certified by the local chief executive as urgent, whether or not it is included in the calendar of business, may be presented and considered by the body at the same meeting without need of suspending rules. So similar to with the certification of urgency by the president. No? So president can certify a measure if it is of national interest or national emergency. Kapag emergency, kailangan i-certify as urgent ng presidente. Pwedeng mapasa ang isang bill in second and third reading the same day usually kasi yan, it takes 3 days after mapasa second, doon lang pwedeng itakal for third reading pagbotohan ulit. Pero pag certified as urgent yan, the rules will be suspended and it can be tackled for second and third reading on the same day. So no ordinance or resolution passed by the Sanggunian in a regular or special session duly called for the purpose shall be valid unless approved by a majority of the members present, there being a quorum. So similar with the House and Senate, kailangan may quorum pag nagbotohan. So ito yung enactment of legislation sa national level naman. No? So proposal and suggestions from the President, government agencies, private individuals, industries, and legislators. So dito papasok yung role ng PLLO before SONA. So medyo busy kami ngayon, especially during the first SONA of the President kasi we conduct a cabinet meeting, we consult with the cabinet members or at least yung mga na-appoint na cabinet members. We use a certain mechanism to get the information, to get the priority legislation ng isang agency that we can recommend to the President to be his own priority legislation to be placed under his priority agenda. So may mechanism kami ginagamit para malaman namin kung ano yung certain o ano yung mga priority bills ng isang agency na of national interest. No? Then we will suggest it to the President. So ganyan din yung sa government other government agencies, private individuals, interest groups, and legislators. Pag nakuha na ng mga congs and sens natin yan, a-action na yan. So magpo-file sila ng bill kay Secretary General or Senate Secretary. And malilabel siya as HB pag sa House, SB sa Senate with its appropriate sign number. Then reading of title authors. So babasahin sa floor for first reading ng Senate Secretary. Then the Senate President will assign it to a certain committee. He refers to a committee. Then that said committee will deliberate the measure. No, if the action is favorable, mag-file ng committee report yung author, primary author, and its co-authors. Tapos kung hindi siya favorable, babalik siya sa author for tweaks, major man o minor adjustments, amendments, or if hindi talaga nakita natin na hindi talaga siya uusad sa plenary, no? So shelf na siya yung bill. Then yung committee report will be filed sa Committee on Rules. Then it will be included in the calendar of business for sponsorship ng author and co-authors. So after the sponsorship, second reading na siya, it will undergo a period of debate and interpellations. Then after that, period of amendments. No? So pagka tapos ng step na to, if favorable, it will be calendared for third reading. No? So mahabang proseso yan. It takes weeks, sometimes months, especially if the bill is really controversial. No? Talagang pagdidebatihan niya ng mga senador at magpapasa sila ng kanya-kanya nilang amendments dun sa proposed measure. No? So, bago yan pagbotohan sa third reading, bibigyan muna yung mga Senate, mga legislators natin ng bill in final form. Will be distributed. Reflected na dyan yung mga pinagdebatihan during the period of interpellations, yung mga amendments na pinropose ng legislators na tinanggap ng author and ng body, naka-reflect na dyan sa final form ng bill. Then it will be voted upon by the legislators. So if approved on third reading, itatransmit na yan sa kabilang chamber. So kung nag-originate sa Senate, itatransmit yan sa House for action. So kung wala pang counterpart bill yung approved on third sa Senate, doon pa lang action na ng House, file pa lang sila and the process will uulit yan for the counterpart chamber. Pero kung meron namang counterpart na approved on third na rin, magpo-constitute na sila ng bicameral conference committee, which ang role niyan is to ipag-ayos yung mga disagreeing provisions ng bill na yon. No? So it will reconcile the differences of the bill, the disagreeing provisions, and pagka-ayos na yan sa bicameral conference committee, sa BICAM, babalik yan sa floor to be ratified. Once the bill is ratified, ipiprint yan and then dadaan sa enrollment process. Diyan na kami yung PLLO, diyan na kinukulit ng mga agencies and ng mga senators kung na yung enrollment ng bill dumaan na ba sa amin, kung napasa na ba namin sa mesa ng presidente for signature, kung tapos na yung enrollment process, dumaan na siya sa PLLO na bigay na namin kay presidente. Tatanong nila, ano ba, na-veto ba? If it's a tax measure, may mga line vetoes ba? Kung na-veto ba? Kung napirmahan, kailan napirmahan? Siyempre, kailangan nilang i-post sa mga social media na yan para malaman ng mga constituents nila. No? So kung na-approve, well and good. The act shall take effect 15 days after publication. Pero kung na-veto, the bill is returned to the originating house with explanation. But it can be overridden. Pwede siyang ma-override of veto by 2/3 votes of both houses. So, yeah. Elements of effective local legislation. What is local legislation? Can be understood in two ways: power and process. Local legislation as power refers to the power of local legislative body to make rules in the form of ordinances and resolutions of local application that have the force and effect of law. Meanwhile, local legislation's process is the interaction of the local legislative body with the executive branch, civil society, including constituents, non-governmental organizations, and private sector, resulting in ordinances and resolutions that promote the development of the LGU. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, mas specific yung tina-target ng ordinances sa isang LGU. So anong pangangailangan ng isang LGU, dito yon pumapasok. Dito nagmumula yung mga ordinances. Why is local legislation important? Of course, it is important because it is a power vital tool for addressing the problems of citizens of the LGU, promoting the general welfare and development of the LGU and its citizens, and attaining the vision of LGU for its citizens. Many ordinances are enacted based on legislative bodies' reaction to a problem that has already arisen. This type of legislation is valid but often has a short-term effect in addressing a problem. So kung gusto ng long-term effect, i-elevate nila yan sa national level. So local legislation can be more responsive if it addresses or predicts what citizens need to have a better quality life, even before the citizens bring them to the attention of legislators. Further, local legislation can be effective if addresses long-term strategic needs that can contribute to attainment of the vision of the LGU citizens. So what are the elements of effective local legislation? Local legislation is a tool for operationalizing Section 16 of the Local Government Code, preservation and enrichment of culture, promotion of health and safety, enhancement of the right of the people to a balanced ecology, encouragement of and support to the development of appropriate and self-reliant technological capabilities, improvement of public morals, enhancement of economic prosperity and social justice, promotion of full employment among the residents, and maintenance of peace and order, as well as the preservation of the comfort and convenience of the inhabitants. So elements of effective local legislation, it is a collective and participatory process. It refers to the interaction of the Sanggunian with the executive branch and civil society, resulting in legislative actions that promote the development of the objectives of the LGU. So dyan papasok yung mga civil societies, NGOs, POs, CSOs, yung mga dyan yung inputs nila napapakinggan during public hearings, just like in the Senate and the House. So elements of effective local legislation. So must have the following: organizational structure, rules of procedure, legislative leadership, legislative committees, legislative support system, and mechanism for legislative executive coordination. So kailangan may different committees din, no, tackling sports, senior citizens, women and children, social justice, health. Kailangan specified yan para may mga certain chairmen na nag-aasikaso ng mga yan kasi para mas organized yung isang local government. So the last part of my report is the citizens' participation. For me, this is one of the most important kasi ito yung mga nakakaramdam ng mga legislation and ordinances sa isang lugar. No, sila yung talagang target ng mga batas natin, yung mga nasa baba, mga citizens. So kailangan ng participation nila. Kailangan natin marinig yung inputs nila. Kailangan nating ma-actionan yung mga pangangailangan ng mga citizens, ng mga legislators, mga constituents ng mga legislators natin. So the legal framework in the Philippines is conducive to citizen participation in governance. So kailangan yan, nasa legal framework ng Philippines natin yan, nasa constitution din natin yan. The country is host to thousands of non-governmental organizations that are already engaging with the government at the national and local level. So yan yung mga NGOs na nag-attend ng hearings ng local and national level, no, sa Senate, sa House, sa LGUs, nag-attend na yung mga NGOs. May mga iba-ibang NGOs catering to different advocacies. Yan yung mga tinatap ng mga LGUs, ng mga SENS, mga KONGs natin para makuhanan sila natin ng input para mas maging effective yung legislation. So sila kailangan na that are engaging. So in different phases of the government cycle, kailangan na i-engage natin sila. Article 2, 10, and 13 of the 1987 Constitution put emphasis to the promotion and protection of the rights of the people and civil society organization and platforms for effective and reasonable participation at all levels of social, political, and economic decision-making. The LGU Code of 1991 and the annual GAA also supports and highlights the need to provide spaces and appropriate policies for this citizen engagement in governance at the local level. Public participation contributes to better decisions because decision makers, which in our case are the legislators, have more complete information from the ground in the form of additional facts, values, and perspectives obtained through public input to bring to bear on the decision process. So kailangan talaga ng consultation sa mga tao sa baba, sa ground, para pagdating ng mga legislators sa floor, no, na-air out nila yung concerns sa mga constituents nila. Kasi iba-ibang lugar, iba-ibang needs. Yan, so kailangan talaga yung mga legislators natin malalapit yan sa tao, sa masa, para na paparating sa plenary, sa national level yung mga concerns. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you.